Hello and welcome into the RotoWire Esports Show. I am Andrew Laird, joined as always by Ethan Sexton, today to talk about the last two-game slate that we're going to have for a little bit. Not that long, but don't worry. We've got two games, LPL at least, coming up on Wednesday, and then we've got some 4 and 5 gamers coming up when Korea comes back. So, Ethan, we saw no surprises on this Tuesday slate, and the specific position that we told everybody to possibly one off is the one that you should have captained, apparently.
Yeah, no surprises in terms of the result, but definitely surprised with Flandre coming in hot with 15 kills today.
Yeah,
that was weird, man. I mean, 15 kills, so he only had 35 on the entire season before this, I believe, is the number that I looked up earlier. So he almost, I don't know. He's been playing weak side all season, and they've been playing around their other lanes for the most part all season. And they sort of did that again, but he just racked up kills, especially that game one performance with the gangplank, knocking off 11 kills. I mean, geez, it was crazy. So that was a little out of nowhere. I mean, it's so stupid though, because yesterday we're like, oh man, those series where the top laners do the carrying is really few and far between. But so
we found it.
We got one today where if the captain thing is it's just kind of like a gutsy way to do it today, but it paid off. But I don't think that that's going to be a strategy that really catches on and is going to be profitable in the long run. Unfortunately, it was so weird because we said that yesterday about top laners not being the ones that carry usually, and also just Flandre is not like the first guy I would think of to be the one that does break a slate like that. So
right, like even if you were going to say like I'm playing double top lane, like you're probably not going with Flandre captain, which
right.
I think the tournament I was in, I think it was a 6-way tie for first. I think part of what pushed people in that direction was that it was just one of the builds that fit in the two big favorites. Like you weren't going to do it with any of the carries. I was kind of hinting to you that I actually did the 80 carry captain with a top lane one-off, which turned out to be the exact position not to one-off. But right. I don't know. 11 kills in game 1, 11 assists in game 2, double bonus. It's like...
Yep, he knocked it out of the park. It's just kind of like you shrug your shoulders and say, oh, well. I mean, I did the same thing as you pretty much, except my one-off was the LNG team slot, so they only got 10 points. It's just I had the double 80 carry, which they both scored pretty well, right? They did pretty well, but I had 369 instead of Flandre in my top lane spot, and I had Scout instead of Knight in the mid lane spot. So if I swap those two around, even without Flandre as the captain, I probably have a profitable day.
Right.
But I'm not taking anything down. But just is what it is, I guess.
My AL one-off did not outscore your LNG team slot.
No. I think it's like, I don't know if it's just I'm thinking this way because we saw the top laner score pretty well today, especially Flandre, but it just always feels like to me that the difference between the teams is going to always be less than the difference between the players in losing matchups. So
today was quite the example of that.
Yeah, so it feels like, if the one-off is the way you're going, that the team slot is almost always going to be like the spot where even if the team gets swept, they're giving up the fewest point differential from the team that sweeps them or whatever. So that's kind of the way I'd look at one-offs going forward. But, we've seen lots of crazy stuff work this year, so who knows?
We move on to the Wednesday slate.
Yep.
We have two decently big favorites. Rare Adam is the biggest favorite against video favorite Thunder Talk, and Team WE favored pretty heavily against E-Star. I think E-Star having some history of just absolutely blowing fantasy points out of the water makes me think that not that they're like better than they are. Maybe that's exactly what I think though.
Right.
So I saw the line and I'm like, WE should definitely be favored against E-Star.
For sure.
And WE's coming off that big win against Top. Is that who they beat?
FPX on
FPX, right.
Yep.
So I'm like 90% convinced myself that this is a letdown game for WE and that I'm all in on E-Star.
All right, that's bold, man. But on these 2-game slates, it's a good way to get that. I mean, that I think that is probably the lowest owned team, right? E-Star, and they do, to your point, have significant upside. I mean, 252 kills on the year, second on this slate, well ahead of both Thunder Talk and Rare Atom. They played a few more games. They played 7 more games than Rare Atom, so that's a little skewed there. But they played 4 more than Thunder Talk, and they have almost 90 more kills, right? So
per game, they're still ahead of them anyway.
Yep, they definitely do have upside, right? But they've also given away 270 kills on the year, so they have significant upside for their opponents as well. For me, it's really, and maybe it's just like bias because we just saw WE crush FPX, who we're both super high on, right?
Yep.
For me, it's just hard to imagine that WE are going to screw this up. I know coming into the FPX series, we were pretty high on FPX because WE had just been swept 3 times.
Right.
But they were swept by JDG, who's a good team. Usually, they're been a little disappointing this year, but they're still one of the best teams, right? RNG, who are one of the best teams, and then Rare Atom, who are at least like a pretty good team, like just below the elite level team. So they lost to 3 good teams, and now they're coming off this sweep of FPX. It's tough for me to really get behind E-Star, but I can admit at least that E-Star do have upside if they can win. They usually score well in wins, so they have that upside there. And they're probably going to be pretty low owned on this slate, would be my guess.
I think the reason I like them, and I don't even want to say I like. Oh no, I'll say it. I like them. I think the reason I like them is because I think, like, if we saw 2 underdogs win, or regardless, like if they won, it just seems to me that E-Star would score so much more than Thunder Talk.
I think so. Yeah, I can get behind that for sure. I mean, I can get behind if E-Star win, they outscore Rare Atom in a win as well.
Yeah.
So I think if E-Star win, they're the highest scoring team on the slate probably. It's just that I don't like their chances to win. It's basically how I'm looking at it. But yeah, I mean, that upside is 100% there. Like, I think whoever wins WE E-Star is the highest scoring team on the slate.
Yeah.
So it's just basically like, if you think E-Star can pull this upset off, then yeah, why wouldn't you just... I mean, I would full stack them, right? Like, I would 4-stack them because I think they definitely outscore. Say Rare Atom 2-0s in the other series, I think E-Star definitely outscore them. Rare Atom are kind of a slower-paced team, right? So, yeah, I mean, that E-Star does have that significant upside, but it's just, are they going to win? I don't see it, but I've been wrong about predicting plenty of results this year. So if people feel strongly about E-Star, or if you're multi-entering, why not take a shot with them, right?
Yeah. So the Rare Atom stats aren't that great. The Thunder Talk stats are so bad though. Like, they're averaging almost 16 deaths per game. Yep. So it's almost like Rare Atom could just like fall into good scores just because of how bad Thunder Talk have been. So the weird thing about this is that I'd convinced myself that E-Star can score well if they win. And I'm basically going to build lineups not caring if they win. Like, I just have to build lineups as if they're going to win it because I think they score really well if they do.
Right.
The problem is I have no interest in a game stack because I think if they lose, they get blown out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, that's why I'm kind of high on WE, right? And I think they're going to be chalky, so it's people will know that going in. Like, you're not going to get much leverage using WE, that's for sure. I think for me, it's just like I'm high on WE because I'm expecting them to just absolutely smash E-Star over 20 kills a game, and probably sweep. So it's like, to me, the only reason to use E-Star is for leverage.
Right.
Which on a 2-game slate is a fine reason to play them, right? Like, it's not... I mean, you're either going to tie with a ton of people who are building WE Rare Atom or whatever, or you're going to take a shot on one of these underdogs, and if an upset comes up, you're going to be in first place, hopefully. So it's just how people want to really play the slate is what they'll have to decide, I guess.
Right. Like I'm definitely building not with the assumption that E-Star win. It's only
Right.
because if everybody's playing WE, then I
Yep.
think E-Star, like we talk about this all the time of like, here's where the leverage plays. And I don't always necessarily play that one.
Right.
But the reason I like this one is because I think if E-Star pull it off, they outscore Rare Atom. That being said, because E-Star is the underdog, you can easily build E-Star Rare Atom lineups.
For sure.
So like,
For sure.
I just go that way. I was surprised to see that Rare Atom was basically the most expensive in. Or are they? Now that I've said that.
They are. They're top.
Yeah,
top
so they're more
they're
expensive
most
than WE. So
that confused me as well. I guess like if we look at it objectively, Rare Atom probably have the easier matchup, so
Sure.
maybe that's why they did that. ESAR are a little bit better than Thunder Talk, I think we would say, despite the fact that Thunder Talk beat them in their meeting this year,
Right.
2-1. I think objectively ESAR are maybe a little bit better than Thunder Talk, but they're both bad.
right.
And then the confusing aspect was, WE are a better team. Well, it's hard to say that too, right? Because Rare Atom just swept WE,
Right.
but in the long stretch of the season, WE have been better than Rare Atom,
Right.
and they score better than Rare Atom in wins. So yeah, I was a little surprised that WE were the cheaper than Rare Atom.
Yeah,
It just feels like that WE will definitely outscore them in a win. Rare Atom play at a little bit of a slower pace than most of the top teams. So who knows?
Yeah, the way I basically looked at it was the Rare Atom long stacks with WE are more expensive, but I didn't realize that until I started with a WE long stack,
Yep.
and I was like, all right, can I if you can play WE Rare Atom, people are going to do that, and so I looked it up, and there are a few ways you can do it, but then when I flipped it, I was like, oh. Rare Atom's actually more expensive. Like I do that before I looked at the specific positions, and it's like if I'm gonna play both favorites, I'm definitely long stacking WE.
Yeah, for sure. I think the long stack should come from whichever side you're playing in that WE E-Star matchup. So like you could definitely fit a long Rare Atom stack with E-Star, but I wouldn't do it. If you're gonna play E-Star, just go all in with E-Star,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because I think they outscore in a win. Honestly. So yeah, I mean, I think for me the long stack would definitely come from that late series. I just think whoever wins, between Thunder Talk and Rare Atom just don't score the same amount of points as the winner in the other series. So yeah, I mean, even though you're going to have a lot of salary left over if you long stack E-Star and play Rare Atom, I think I would still go that way. I think there's much more upside there than vice versa.
So just so we cover all of our bases, when we talk tomorrow about how the Thunder Talk Rare Atom game stack won it all,
Oh man,
I mean theoretically the only way that happens is if WE just rolls E-Star with like a few kills, which like even that seems like it's unlikely to happen. Like
yeah.
but and then I guess the other one goes 2-1 and it's just bananas. But like I just don't see Thunder Talk putting up enough kills to make that one worth it.
No, I mean, they're both averaging, barely 10 kills a game, right? So,
12.
or a little, I think Rare Atom will be a little over 10 kills, but not by much. And, we don't really want to see, 13 kill totals. Like, if that game stack wins GPP tomorrow, I will quit playing DFS forever. I think is how I feel about it. So now that I said that, I surely have talked it into existence. But
you're going to get out of it, though.
That would be a huge shock. I think that would be like the final straw of shenanigans this season if a game stack of Rare Atom and Thunder Talk is the winner tomorrow. So
I think the way you're going to be able to get out of this one is that the game stack is going to win it, but it's going to be a WE team slot one-off.
Yeah, well, you would need a one-off somewhere, so yeah.
Ugh, gross. Gross.
Yep.
All right, if you guys have enjoyed the video, please hit the like button below. Feel free to subscribe for all of the RotoWire videos. You can also subscribe to RotoWire.com, which gets you access to all of our sports that we cover, including basketball, baseball, hockey, basically any sport you can think of. We even have cricket if you're into that sort of thing. If you would like to try us out for free for 10 days, no credit card required, just go to rotowire.com/pod. That's POD. And also get you access to our Discord chat, which is open for all subscribers. So, Ethan, thank you for that, and let's hope this game stack does not happen.
Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic about it, but we'll see, man.
We'll see.